Let's see. Oh, wow. They are getting nuked. Wow. Okay. GG. Easy. Get clapped. All right, let's go on to some pits. We're almost there. Perfect. And now we have Enlightenment. I don't know. He's dead. All right, buddy. All right, this is better than Frozen Orb. All right. This is... Let's see how much damage we can get with Fireball on these training dummies. 5.6 billion. Yo, GG easy. Get nuked. Hey, what's going on, guys? Lurking here from Mobalytics, and we have recently moved Fireball into S tier. It's been performing really well. It's hitting in the billions. So we regularly see 50 to 300, 500 million damage numbers, and then occasionally, like pretty often, we will see 2 billion, 3 billion upwards. The highest I've seen on the training dummies is 7.5 billion. I think the highest I've seen in the field is around 6 billion, but I'll go over the build really quick. Damage don't grow on trees this season, so we are running the Raymond chest. If you don't, eventually when Shroud of False Death comes out, we can probably run that. But as for now, this is a teleport enchant build, and you can run Tyraels if you want. You're just going to lose the damage from Glass Cannon. And I have some variants that are a bit tankier, and that should still do really good damage. It's not a bug with Perdition. I think what's happening is, I don't think it's really bugged. It's not Illuminators, it's not Perdition, it's not Enlightenment, it's not Searing Heat. Something is happening when Endless Rage is doing its third cast, where it launches 2 additional projectiles. I think maybe there was an issue in the past with the damage registration not working correctly when multiple fireballs hit an enemy. And I think now maybe they fixed that, so Endless Rage is really at its full potential, where when, you know, multiple fireballs hit an enemy, because I'm finding it does the most damage when I'm not point blank to an enemy, but when I have like a solid amount of distance between me and them. Maybe when, like, you'll just have to play around with it and see what feels best. Maybe go in the training dummy and see where you can get the biggest damage numbers to proc with it. But the build's very simple. It should be fine without Perdition. Like, honestly, all you really need for it is Gloves of the Illuminators and Endless Rage. And as your gear gets better, the build's just going to get stronger and stronger. Perditions are 60% damage. You really want to focus your ranks of Fireball, especially on Endless Rage and Illuminators. Rakanoths you can get from Hordes. They're pretty important because of the cooldown reduction. And starting off, you can run Asu's Boots. We finish it off with Tal Rasha's and then Starless Skies for attack speed. If you don't have Starless Skies, you can probably just run Shredding Blades or Stormswell here. I have some earlier variants. I think I have Ancient Flame just to sort of help us get a ton of attack speed. But if you have really good cooldowns, you can switch to Enlightenment early. Maybe run Accelerating or Stormswell or something like that. Last but not least is the Amulet. So the Amulet you really want ranks the Dev Blaze and Intelligence. The third stat is basically whatever else you can get. Ideally, Conj Mastery, if not Inner Flames, Elemental Dominus, or something, maybe a quality of life thing like attack speed or cooldown reduction. Just, you're looking for a Dev Blaze Ammy with Int. So the tempers here, I have Pyromancy attack speed in the planner. I do need to fix this. We're not going to have total armor on here. You're going to have Unstable Currents cooldown reduction. I'm going to fix it real quick, but if you want this, if you do get a really good amulet and you want it to be usable across multiple builds, don't take Pyromancy attack speed. Take critical strike damage. That way you can pivot to something else if you get bored or you just want to swap around. All right, let's get into the gameplay. I'll probably start. This thing is hitting like a truck. You need some pretty crazy gear to hit the damage that I'm hitting, but you should still be able to hit for a very respectable amount. That was 2.9 billion. Can I get a 3 billion? Hook a brother up. I need a damage per screenshot. This is instantly obliterating everything in T4. Spiritborn may have way much more damage, but this thing is fun. Holy shit. So the unfortunate part is that every single build this season, because we really need damage, is going to look super cookie cutter. This is going to be the exact same setup in every build that I run going forward. Unfortunate, but it works. All right. Well, Enlightenment's not consistent, but you can get really good uptime with it. And that's sort of why the build has, you know, all this in it. I found that out. It was like hard to stack it up. This might be a decent layout. Oh, and it's spiders. Oh, yeah. Oh my god, bro. Oh my god, poison damage? Relax. That's the one negative, well, not the one negative, but a negative about not having, we're going to leave this barrier guy. Skeleton barrier guys are a mess. That's the disadvantage of not having teleport on the bar, is you don't have a way to break CC, and it kind of sucks. But I kind of like UC. The attack speed's really nice. Yeah, like right here. Yeah. So you certainly could drop unstable currents or teleport and run Snowveiled. But this is going to be the max damage version. I'll make a note. Like, if this really isn't for you, because I am dying to CC, because I have no way to break it unless I have Flame Shield. Well, this is going to be the run that goes in the video, so everybody just heard it. Because this run's way cleaner than that last run that was scuffed. And it's all spiders, bro. Everybody loves spiders. I wish they would remove every other mob type from the pit, but spiders. I'll put the video together in the morning. I think I have pretty good uptime on Enlightenment, and that's sort of why we have the Ice Blade enchantment. I wonder though, does... Oh, I can't tell. I want to know if my evades count as No, my evades don't. That's sad. Alright, I'm getting too busy talking. I gotta get to smashing. I don't know where this thing could end up. Maybe 90, 95, 96. Because I was in that 90 and it was going pretty well. Maybe 95, dude. I don't know. It's getting pretty tight up there. The scaling's just crazy. I'm just blowing everything out, dude. Well, I'll be on tomorrow, and I have some extra Illuminators. I'll probably be farming. We can farm some bosses tomorrow that have, we can farm Varshan, and we can farm, Beast. Alright, I'm running out of ads. Oh, here's a big juicy pack. You don't really even... The clumping's nice, but you don't really need to do it all the time. These skeletons are giga tanky. Let's just go up to the next floor. But I am gonna add Fireball to F tier. I'm gonna ping the guy who does all that right before I go to bed. Alright, let me go nuke the boss. Thank you. We almost got alignment. There we go. Alright, let's nuke this Seahag. Wow. Like one stagger. Yo, get wrecked. Not that fast. This boss kill is actually insane. 2.3 billion. Those dude guys got shredded. All right, buddy. See ya. All right, let's level up some glyphs. Let's go over the build. All right, so this is your average fireball build. It's pretty simple. Really not much to it. So you have your Air of Perdition for your 60% damage. I'm running Tam Ohm for Warcry. Every 24 casts, 15% damage. Very simple. We opt to run double Topaz. It's more damage. Don't worry about it. This build does use Raiment. I think you could get away with False Death, and then you would just like drop Teleport Enchantment, Shroud of False Death. But Raiment, you can run Tyraels here, but 7 ranks to Glass Cannon's damage just really can't be replaced, especially in a meta where Sork's really not doing too hot. Illuminators, you're gonna want 100%. You're gonna want to hit your You're gonna want to hit your Fireball Masterworks to get more damage. And then this should be Orange Herald, so I would have had much better uptime on my Unstable Currents, but I had the wrong aspect on here. That's very classic of me. So the build will perform even better than what you saw. Rakanoth's Wake, mainly for the cooldown reduction and the attacks reduce evade, so that way you can, as you saw from the gameplay, there's a lot of stick and running. I think works pretty well with the build. Sort of plant, and then you can keep moving, keep kiting, like clump enemies, and then sort of back off so that you can, get your hits on them. And then the non-physical is really nice. Staff of Endless Rage, gonna want as close to 90% as possible. Preferably GA Fireball, GA Int, but GA Fireball is really the one that you're looking for. I run Pakmat. Spend 150% of your max resource, and you get a Dark Shroud. As you can see in the little bar down there, Dark Shroud thing's filling up really fast. And I like the Dark Shrouds basically to offset the fact that I'm running Raiment and the Glass Cannon ranks. Big fan of the Dark Shrouds. When you have 5 of them, it's 40% DR, 8% per Shroud. This is the golden... I got this from Barter. He was just selling it. But ideally, you're going to want Dev Blaze and Intelligence. And then the last slot is really whatever. Conj Mastery is fine. But this build doesn't... This build really only gets around, at most, probably 8 Conjurations. So it's really not... Something like Inner Flames or Elemental Dominance would be totally fine in the slot. Or even just like cooldown reduction or attack speed. So like ideally just want like a Dev Blaze in Ami. And then the only damage aspect we have in the whole build, because of all the uniques, is 3 curses. Should be 68% damage with crit strike. Our crit is super good. We're actually at 100. I think we're overcapped. Just because of the way I ended up getting GA crit on Perdition. But ideally you want to hit 88% crit. Searing Heat gives you another 12. We'll do that when we go over the Paragon. I'm not going to go over the skill tree. You can just look at that in the guide, but it's just a pretty standard direct damage fire skill tree. A lot of ranks in TP. And then we have Enlightenment, and then we have some ranks in Hoarfrost, because what's important is a lucky hit freeze temper. We can get a lot more damage. We get 18% more damage when we freeze enemies. But this amulet's a little bit of a unicorn. Just do what you can. It's going to add a lot of damage, but it's not going to make or break the build. Because a lot of the power is simply put in Illuminators and Endless Rage. And then you got your Talrasha. I know, my gear is disgusting. I'm sorry. But you're going to want GA cooldown there. It really helps because the loss of the focus and using Perdition, you really don't have any slots for cooldown. That's why Rakanoths are important. And Talrasha is important. And then last but not least, Starless. Ideally, GA attack speed, but honestly, anything. Just whatever you can get. I mean, I'm not... Yeah. I don't really know the attack speed breakpoints. We're not hitting the attack speed cap, so it's just like, any Starless will do, obviously. All right, let's go over Paragon. Paragon's going to look like every other Paragon for Sork this season. So starter, I'm starting with Tactician. Boost the rares. And, you know, damage after we use a defensive skill, it's always up. Next is Enchantment Master. When you're first starting off, you don't need this node. This is like, all of this right here is fluff. Well, this you should grab, but like all of this is fluff. So this is like least priority. But we're taking Elementalist here. Fire, cold, or lightning damage to an enemy. We know we get 15% damage out of it. We got Ice Blades. We're hitting people with lightning spears, and we got fireballs. Next is Searing Heat. 60% damage, and it gives us 12% more crit chance. I'm way overcapped, but that's just what it is. There's some okay quality of life nodes, some DR burning, but you end up grabbing a lot of this fire damage, crit damage, and we want destruction here. Super fat amount of crit damage, and 59 dex will do. Next is Fundamental Release. That's, you know, taken on every build, basically. You know, Frigid Fate and Fundamental Release are taken on everything because they're like global multis that can work with every build. Here I'm taking Flame Feeder. Now that Fireball can apply its own burning, super nice. You don't get too much additive out of it, but it's 10% and 10%. So Flame Feeder's fine. What I would probably, if you're just starting off, I would probably put Pyromaniac here. I would over Flame Feeder. I'm going to keep the planner as is because a lot of people are following my Frozen Orb build, and I wanted to use the same glyphs that they've been using for that, because I don't want to ask anyone else to level new glyphs. It's Unleash, Flame Feeder, Destruction, Elementalist, and Tactician. You can use that on any single direct damage build that can crit. Like, that can apply burning as well. So it's just like a staple across all of the builds. I want to keep things consistent, so in case somebody gets bored in mid-season, they want to switch, but Pyromaniac is an option here to boost these rare nodes that I'm unfortunately not hitting. And then the kindling down here, you know, there's just, this board's got really good additive, but some of this you can wait on. Ideally, you just sort of want to bum rush through, maybe grab this for the attack speed, grab Searing Heat, bum rush through here and grab Frigid Fate, and maybe even take Enchantment Master as your last board, so you can kind of grab these legendary nodes first. And then last but not least, Unleash. And here, I like Unleash a lot because it gives me 45 dex, 45 willpower, important in hitting these wrecks. I'm at 250 Paragon, and I'm still kind of struggling to hit Rex. It's pretty annoying. It is what it is. So Unleash here, Buceller, magic nodes, very nice, and Fizz, vulnerable damage, and then last but not least, the Frigid Fate for 60% damage. So that's the build. It's super dope. And yeah, my gear is cracked. 7 ranks class cannon, God roll amulet. Yeah, my gear is really good. I've been farming, but they made it pretty easy to get boss mats. It's not too hard to get these. Sorry. You know, you got Varshan. Those are pretty common. And then I believe this is Beast in the Ice, and this is also Varshan. So you can get most of the set just from farming Varshan, and then you do a little bit Beast in the Ice, probably in T3 because you need to kill them in one phase. And then Rakanoffs are from Hordes. And ideally, you can do T6s because you'll be able to open the most chests. But yeah, that's the build. This thing shreds. Have fun. Overall with the build, it's hitting for a lot. I'm nuking all T4 content with it, like Undercity. Where is it? Yeah, like Undercity down here, and then Hordes wherever they spawn up here. Like Hordes is insane with this build. It's crazy. You just one tap everything, and then you nuke the Horde bosses in like half a second. They just got obliterated. I'm killing bosses way faster. I don't know. It could be a little clunky in the pit, especially with Raiment. Like Fireball's not the best Raiment skill because of the way it goes outwards after you do it. So you kind of have to evade onto them and then maybe try and like move out of the way. But you could always not run Unstable Currents, and you could run Teleport. And then maybe an option here is that you can use Snow Veiled. That way you're not like getting stuck on people, but like the max damage version will be with Unstable Currents. And I need to go put Orange Herald on, but that's the build. We have 3,200 total additive. Now, when Enlightenment goes off, we get another 2,000 total. So that's 5232. We divide that by 3232. We get a 62% damage buff. And then we times that by 1.25, and we get double damage when Enlightenment is active. So Enlightenment is a 2x damage passive.